My name's Rosemary Clerehan. I'm an Associate Professor in the Faculty of Medicine, Nursing and Health Sciences, and we were finally successful applicants for an ALTC Priority Projects grant, and the title of the grant was Web 2 Authoring Tools in Higher Education Learning and Teaching, New Directions for Assessment and Educational Integrity. I think the sense of partnership in this project has been incredibly important, and I think the way the group was formed was directly instrumental in making it successful ultimately, although that was our third go. We had tried 2 previous times and had to take feedback into account on each occasion. But the origin of our group, I guess, goes back to when our leader was creating a very interesting website for staff called Acknowledgement, which was designed to help them with issues of plagiarism and educational integrity. And she went around to a couple of different universities and sort of shopped her ideas around and got some feedback. And there were some of us that who clicked with her immediately, and we were sort of looking around, I suppose, to see what we could join in on as a group. And initially we found the idea of educational integrity an interesting one, particularly in relation to the development of Web 2 social software. And I suppose we actually formed the group really before we had much thought of applying for a CARIC, as it then was. So the group was initially formed around writing a paper, which we did, and exploring our ideas about the interesting issues concerning assessment and Web 2. So we were pretty much a fairly consistent team from the beginning. I think we had one academic from RMIT drop out and another woman come in more recently. But because we regarded ourselves as a group already, and we knew we worked well together because we had written this article, which was sort of quite difficult in a way to write. We each had to contribute. So we had this sort of sense of functioning together. Kathleen was an excellent leader, I felt, and very easy to work with, and I think that's key to things working well. And so she and the rest of us were quite easy about her dividing up the tasks. The 3 times we applied, we each took part in contributing to each of the sections. The sections were divided up. We said what we thought we could contribute to best. We had a lot of email exchange in our refinement of the document, and we spent quite a bit of time. We had regular meetings talking about how we could improve it and including feedback. It's quite a big job being a partner on an ALTC grant. I wouldn't deny that for a moment. The thing about it is that the work is not regular. You have to be really prepared to put in work at whatever hour of day or night it's required. Because we had quite a complex project in the way it was staged, we had to be getting information from surveys and summits and focus groups and case studies. So it was all they're all sort of particular stages to the whole thing. And we started off thinking we knew what the ethics application was going to be about, but then as we went on, we kept finding sort of extra issues that we really needed ethics permission for. So there were, in that sense, unforeseen activities and jobs that we just had to do. And because we were from 3 different universities, we had to decide where we were going to meet, and we met. We've met pretty much once a month, and at some stages every 2 weeks to try to get all the work done. So that means 2 lots of us going off to the lead university's site, and that all takes time as well. As far as one's own work goes, my job fortunately is fairly flexible in the way I can conduct it. So it's good in that way, but I would have to say that it does put quite a lot of pressure on you and on your time to be incredibly organised so that you can fit everything in. and you really need to be aware of where the project is at any given moment, and I had, for example, 3 pilot case studies, we call them, that I was conducting with 3 different units, all in the arts faculty actually, and so that was, in a couple of cases, that was more than one person, so you're dealing with a group of people who you had to organise meetings with, and in some cases view what they were doing in labs with, one lecturer was doing Second Life, so had to sort of find time to attend these labs to get a full sense of what was going on. So it is an incredible amount of work. It's, of course, incredibly interesting, and I suppose that's what keeps you going. So because previous feedback from the ALTC indicated that we had to be very careful about how much budget we were asking for, we structured it so that the other partners, myself included, didn't actually get teaching relief. Didn't matter quite so much for me because I can structure my teaching hours pretty much the way I want to, up to a point, given the students' commitments. And so that wasn't such a big issue, but it really did mean that you worked, I suppose, an extra half day a week that wasn't actually paid. So thinking of the kind of advice I'd give to other people who are thinking about becoming partners, I guess would revolve around essentially really being clear in your own mind that this is a team that you would like to work with. I guess my little acid test for this is, are you looking forward to meeting with these people again? Because if you're not, it's going to be a very protracted 1 to 2 years. So I think it was very helpful for me, I guess, to be in on the ground from the very beginning, because we just felt that it was our project from the very start, and there was no sense of actually coming in on someone else's project and helping them with it. It sort of belonged to all of us. And I think it's important to find out what other ALTC projects have looked like and are doing. Very good to get feedback. The ALTC website provides good information, and staff from the ALTC go around giving talks. I think that's excellent to get a sense of what exactly they're looking for and what their expectations are. And I think also you need to be very committed to the topic, and I think we just felt that our topic was very under-examined and was important, and that other people weren't sort of quite realising that it was going to be growing in importance. And we also saw it as, and I know the ALTC focuses on the learning and teaching aspect, but a large part of the dissemination we have felt to be producing scholarly articles. And so I think if you can think of the project as really fitting into your whole scholarly endeavour, so it's not just learning and teaching, but it fits into the way you think about your academic life and the values and the philosophies in your teaching, and being prepared to share those with others.